Hello, my name is Pastor Amir Khan from Camden, New Jersey. And I can tell you, if you come to our great city, you'll see the tale of two cities. Yeah. You see a city of Camden residents who've been there for generations, like my father, who was a medical doctor there in Camden for 54 years. We grew up in Parkside, and my father, after years of being a physician, could have moved out to Cherry Hill, Voorhees, other areas, and made a lot more money. He chose to stay in Camden for another 30, 40 years because he felt this is his heart, this is his spirit, and he had a heart to stay in Camden. I can tell you, if you come to Camden, you also see the other side of Camden, which is downtown. Where in our side of Camden, you have potholes everywhere, you have lights that don't work, you have water that you can't drink. Imagine your children being in a public school, and literally in Camden, you cannot drink out of the water fountain. That's how bad the water is. What a great message, because now the kids go home to their parents, and they're drinking the same water. They're bathing in the same water, they're cooking in the same water. But if you go downtown to where EDA has given so much money to, 1.7 billion or whatever it might be at this point, and you see beautiful lights, you don't have to worry about your shocks being messed up in your car, driving down the streets. You see police officers everywhere. I'm a pastor in Camden, but I also see the amount of funerals I have to do. Like the ones a few weeks ago of 3 kids that were shot. 2 of them murdered. A 16-year-old and an 18-year-old. Have to deal with murders like this every single time, but yet you go downtown, you see cop cars everywhere. Where all the EDA buildings are going up, where the George Norcross buildings are going up. But in the city, you can barely find a police officer. That's why we have the kind of murders we have. I can tell you this, something's wrong when you see something like our school district building that was sold 2 years ago for $5 million. Real quick, because George wanted that building. So they sold it real quick. Who they sell it to? To Millennium, and who controls that? All of George's people. And that particular building was then sold 1 year later for $13.5 million. Try making $8-9 million in 1 year. And by the way, why would somebody buy a building for $8-9 million more than they know you paid for it a year before, unless you are EMR that got $252 million
That's right.
from the EDA board?
That's right.
Not a bad deal. Not a bad deal. You know, buy the thing for $7-8 million. Let me make $8 million off you, but we're going to give you back $252 million. And listen, I got a bridge to sell everybody in this place. If you're going to tell me if you think backdoor deals weren't done on that and so many other deals. I personally witnessed it when we need companies that come to Camden that can hire Camden residents. Who does Holtec hire? And you're right, Sister Rancho, when we were out there protesting that day on those terrible, terrible statements that were made, they're lazy. They don't show up for work. They. We shouldn't wear our they shirts. Because we are they. We are they. And we have people that do want to work.
That's right.
But understand, when you deal with a city like Camden, we need to have corporations that will come in and understand wraparound services. Understand giving counseling, understand giving transportation. We need certain services to help get our residents back to work. I've watched firsthand because most of the companies that are coming to Camden, they're not hiring Camden residents. They will use a number of 10%. And let me tell you what the 10% are. See, you can read the papers all you want, but we know the people. So, okay, you want to hire so you can say you have 10%. So that's great. You're having people push brooms, clean toilets, serve food. How about training to get people from minimum wage? How many know in New Jersey you can't live off of $9 and $10 and $11 an hour that these companies are paying? So glad we're moving to $15 an hour, but even $15 an hour is difficult. How about training our people so we can get good paying jobs and we can live a life in Camden and survive? And we really should be doing more than thriving. We should be not surviving, but thriving. Let me just share this last story with you. We bought a company in Camden 5, 6 years ago. It was a large company. They do about $1 billion a year. But they chose not to go through EDA because they really wanted to give back to the community. And they were a company, and basically 90% of their people would have been hiring Camden residents because it's all manufacturing. It was putting together these mobile homes for tragic areas like Katrina, when Katrina hits and things like that. They put these little mobile homes together. So we got them to come to Camden. They got a big, beautiful 150,000 square foot building. They started putting their money into it. And because they didn't go through and kiss George's ring, here was their quotes and advertisement to the community. We will pay minimum $15 an hour. We want to hire Camden residents first. And we will hire formerly incarcerated. And we will have wraparound services so we can get Camden residents back up on their feet and working. And you would think this is the kind of company that they would roll the red carpet out on. Yeah. Instead, I remember watching Mr. Irv drive up in his Bentley down Haddon Avenue, pull up at a big event, Haddon Avenue Street Festival. And all the kids came over, they wanted to jump in his Bentley. He got in the Bentley, let him, play with the Bentley. Then he got out and started walking down the street. And the mayor was right there. If I come over here and meet Mr. Richter, the one that wants to bring a factory here, he's bringing a factory, he's already doing it, already spending hundreds of thousands of dollars, come over and talk to him. She wouldn't come 10 feet over to even say hello to the man that wants to hire 1,000 Camden residents. That one company would have hired more residents than all the companies right now combined. They scheduled a meeting to meet with him. It took about a month to get the meeting. It was all scheduled, and because they felt he wasn't playing ball with George, the night before at 6:33, I have the text messages on my phone right now. I'll show every one of you. They contacted Mr. Richter and said, we cannot make it to the meeting tomorrow to talk about you coming and being involved in Camden. Well, send a representative. We don't have any more representatives. Well, can we schedule another meeting? Well, the mayor said we can't schedule another meeting right now. And by the way, whether it's the mayor, the superintendent, whatever, they're all controlled by George. Whatever George says, that's what they do. And by the way, we have documentation on this, and they're going to be deposed anyway. They're either going to lie and go to jail or tell the truth. Right now, we're sick and tired of being sick and tired. We're tired of the injustice that's happening in Camden. That company picked up and said, we don't want to be here. The exact quote from that owner of that company, that billion-dollar company, says, we go to other third world countries and they roll the red carpet out for us. And we can't even meet with people here in Camden. We don't need this. Picked up and they moved their company down to Philadelphia, Mississippi. I'm telling you, the injustices that are happening in Camden have been happening for decades. And we here, as Camden residents, are saying we are mad as hell. We're not going to take it anymore.
That's right.
They talked about an unjust law. This is an unjust law. Things have to change.
That's right.
The board has to change.
That's right.
We stand behind Governor Murphy 1,000%.
That's right.
We believe the whole board should be changed. And we see, come on, the whole board needs to change. If they can get rid of Lizette at the SDA because of being too, having too many other cronies involved, I think we can get rid of a whole bunch of board members here at the EDA because of all the connections with Governor Christie, all the connections with Norfolk, all the connections with all the corporations. Something has to change. Something has to change. Something has to change. Something has to change. Something has to change.
Resign.
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 Resign.
Resign. And have a blessed day.